Europeans like Heineken. But they drink and enjoy more Kronenbourg than any other bottle of beer. Europeans love Kronenbourg. Now in America, people are discovering they like Heineken. But Kronenbourg, that's love. Kronenbourg, Europe's #1 bottle of beer.
How do we make Denny's best-selling sandwich? We take tender, oven-roasted breast of turkey, tangy, sizzling bacon, plump, ripe tomatoes, and mellow Swiss cheese. Pile it on thick French bread, grill it to a golden brown, and serve it with French fries. Denny's Superbird Sandwich, on special this month for only $2.69. But only at Denny's, where you'll like our prices and you'll love our food.
For you, for all you do, the king of beers is coming through. For all you do, this bite's for you.
What makes this land terrific? We got something more. Broadway nights, disco nights, something more. And a brand new soft drink like you never had before. Brand new something more. It's so much escape, you're gonna say something more. Rambling Root is something more. For melody, for foamy, for cream. Oh, Rambling Root is something more.
Try new sugar-free Ramblin' too.
K-Car, XC. Lots of cars have letters. Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme from the good old guys has numbers. 30. The highway miles Cutlass squeezes out of a gallon. 21 EPA estimated miles per gallon city. 77.15. The low sticker price the good old guys could make even lower. 1. With the #1 dealers of this #1 selling midsize line. When it comes to a car, we've got your number.
From the good old guys.
Monday Bob Hope celebrates spring with Brooke Shields, Lonnie Anderson, Melissa Manchester, and more.
Federal Express will come to your office, pick up the package, and deliver it clear across the country overnight. You don't even have to move an inch.
You got the look, I want to know better. You got the look that's all together. Living, playing, day or night. Jordache has the look that's right. The Jordache look. The Jordache.
Available at Abraham and Strauss.
Just when you thought you'd have to give a beating to afford cruising, along comes the Kawasaki 650 CSR, a low-slung custom cruiser from its full-back bars to its 48-spoke wheels. And for a limited time, just $24.99. The Kawasaki 650 CSR.
Oh, yeah.
Pick yours up before someone else does.
Now at Canrod Corporation, Kawasaki Wheelhouse and Lidgewood, Kawasaki.
Great comedy from SCTV tonight at 1.
Mr. Brady, more Dristan tablets?
No, not just tablets. Something new for your cold. Dristan capsules.
6612 for capsules?
New Dristan capsules. Look, these help 6 symptoms. This one's 6.
And Dristan capsules relieve 12 a capsule?
Right. Bayer or Tylenol help these 6 symptoms. Contact these 6. New Dristan capsules relieve all 12 of them.
Dristan capsules. Sounds good.
Tablets or new capsules, Dristan relieves 12 cold symptoms.
Here comes Wrangler, and he's one tough customer. He's built to take it with looks that make it, yeah. When he says jeans, he means Wrangler.
Wrangler means styles built to get around. Really go to town. Looking good top to bottom.
Here comes Wrangler, and he's one tough customer, and he knows what he likes when he sees it. Wrangler.
This Vivitar motorized pocket camera is the best Easter present I ever gave.
Vivitar for Easter.
I love to grow them. I love to arrange them.
I love to paint them.
New York is blooming with things to do at the I Love New York Spring Flower Festival. Come join us from May 2nd to June 14th. For a free calendar of events, write Flowers, Box 992, Latham, New York, 12110.
Come. Down a rabbit hole and through the talking door. Into a world of breathtaking color and fantastic acts.
Perhaps no people on Earth enjoy photography more than the Japanese. And because they've been first with so many innovations, no camera company is more responsible for this than Pentax. First, where it means something to be first.
North slope's clear and head wall's clear.
And I guess it's wheeler time. Last one down buys.
Right. I can taste that free beer now.
When it's time to relax.
What took you so long?
Long distance play, Miller beer, if you got the time. We got the beer.
When you say bonjour, you'll be greeted with great-looking jeans for girls.
Hi, welcome to the neighborhood. Je suis français. Je ne parle pas anglais. Oh, bonjour, bonjour. Bonjour.
Bonjour jeans.
The knight is a fighting machine, disciplined in mind and heart, noble to the dead. Knight riders, they ride for the crown, they fight for honor, following a dream as far as it will take them, because a legend lives as long as someone believes. Knight riders, Camelot is a state of mind. Knight Riders, rated R.
Starts Friday at selected theaters everywhere. Check newspapers for listing.
Hotel accommodations for most guests of Saturday Night Live were furnished by Berkshire Place, a Dunphy Classic Hotel, in exchange for this announcement. For reservations at Dunphy Hotels in the U.S. and Europe, call toll-free 800-228-2121.
Listen to the people who are picking up the daily news tonight.
I used to be a reader of the Post.
Tonight is New Yorkie.
I like to read the business section.
You have Liz Smith, Jimmy Breslin.
I think it's one hell of a newspaper.
If you're busy during the day and you can't call your broker, it's right there.
Writers, and the articles, and the content.
Fantastic alternative to the New York Post. If there's an acquisition that's happening, you don't have to wait for the morning paper. Tonight is so far superior. This paper's enough to make me switch.
The daily news tonight, it's enough to make you switch.
Bobby, you think we'll be able to make it by tonight?
The prom tonight.
Where do we start?
A Coke and a smile makes me feel good. Makes me feel nice. Have a Coke and a smile. That's the way it should be. And I like to see the whole world smiling with me. Have a Coke and a
Bobby, is that you?
smile.
Kellogg's Product 19. So, you prefer a cereal that gives you 100% of 10 essential vitamins and iron.
Actually, I'm more concerned with its great taste.
Nutrition, that's important.
But so is taste.
All those vitamins.
All this taste.
Deep down, it's the vitamins, though.
How long have you felt this way about vitamins?
Well, Kellogg's Product 19 tastes great. But doesn't anybody love us for our vitamins?
K-Car, XC. Lots of cars have letters. Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme from the good old guys has numbers. 30. The highway miles Cutlass squeezes out of a gallon. 21 EPA estimated miles per gallon city. 77.15. The low sticker price the good old guys could make even lower. 1. With the number one dealers of this number one selling midsize line. When it comes to a car, We've got your number.
From your good old guy.
Thank you, everybody. We had a very nice time.
I'm not ready to go yet, okay? I'm not ready. You gotta wait. I got shit to do. I'm in the middle of something, all right? Just hold on.
Watch your mouth or don't come in here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, people, come on, we're adults here. You know what? What is the point?
Yeah, we're adults here. I got a fucking Burger King fucking thing on my head. We're all fucking adults here, guys. People in my chat, 2 words. What are they? 2 words. Let me see the chat flood. Let me see the chat flood. 2 words. Okay, next caller. Please. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, which translate in American to dick and balls.
I got flip-flops. These are my flip-flops. Yeah, I really like my flip-flops because I can put them on. Because look, watch me put them on. I can put them on all by myself. Watch me put them on. Look, are you watching? Look, these are my flip-flops.
Thanksgiving Day. I remember it clearly. It was Thanksgiving Day. I was inserting myself in somebody else's fucking business as a cash grab, and you know. This channel is harsh reality. Karen Yak se jodió la sucia vida. Amen.
This is Jonathan Lee Riches. I have cheeseburgers. I'm gonna put cheese on them. I'm gonna make sure that I have my hamburgers because I'm a big boy now and I can make the hamburgers. My mom lets me use the stove now.
And I'm just like, wow, I like receipts, and they brought receipts. Like they had evidence to back up everything they said. And I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be another side to this, right? Like this can't, no, this is too fantastic.
Yeah, because you're not going to just jump to the conclusion that there's a conspiracy amongst cops to cover up a murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, cops and just like soccer moms and shit. Like that's what made it even crazier. Like,
yeah, get it, Betty. Yeah,
did you have a close relationship with your mom?
Get it, Betty.
Oh, of course, I still do.
Yeah.
My older sister was kind of sad. She was more of the prissy girl, like going
that is
and
the best shit fucking
shopping for dresses with mommy. I was the tomboy that liked playing with the people.
Shout out to Cherry for just being easily the most faithful and loyal supporter that I've ever had, man. That someone could have that tenacity with loyalty. And I'm really blessed to have someone like Cherry be part of this channel and in my life. So it means a lot. And yes, I named him after Mr. T and Rocky. Say, woman. Say, woman. Say, woman. Since your old man ain't got no heart, why don't you come down to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this little dude. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I love you guys very, 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 very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends. Oh, say bye. Say bye. Oh, I love you too. Give me a kiss. Oh, I love you. Bye, guys.
Turned up and sitting in the house was quickly sold. And Carol found Jens who will search house on the dying cold. Dropped you on, placed in the snow to die with just one shoe. You fucking pricks, you set her up. Now here comes the boom. Oh! You know you're going down. You know you're going down. We'll never get away with this. We'll never get away with this. We'll never get away with this. We'll never get away with this.
His injuries were inconsistent with the damage on the car. The damage on the car was inconsistent with having made contact with Jojo Kim's body. In other words, the car didn't hit him, and he wasn't hit by the car. Period. Full stop.
We'll never get away with this. We'll never get away with this. We'll never get away with this. We'll never get away with this.
Woo! Yo, how about that song, huh? What's going on, y'all? Here, I'm gonna drop the link to the channel because I think this is the band's channel. So I don't know the name of the band. I don't know how to say it. JC Loring. I don't know. I wish I knew the name of the band and I could just say, to go follow that band wherever they can be found and go see them live and all that cool stuff. I love supporting like local musicians, even though they're not local to me, but I love supporting independent bands. I do. And I thought that was a really, really cool thing for them to do, which was write this song that basically sums up the whole case. So big shout out to those guys, whoever you are. Make sure, guys, to blast that link that I dropped there all over Twitter. Share that song all over Twitter. Share the link to the video all over Twitter if you have Twitter. Make sure you do. Dude, again, I don't know the name of the band. But I wish it did. And so yeah, welcome, guys. Oh man, we got a lot to talk about today. This is why I bumped it up an hour, because there's a lot to go over. And what I'm going to start off with, and this is for all of you out there in Norfolk County who plan on being out there to protest, and those of you who are coming from anywhere else, I want to be very clear about something. I don't want to discourage anyone from going out there to protest whatever it is that they want to protest. I don't care what it is. Like, absolutely, my issue is that people's First Amendment rights are being impeded on. That's an issue for me. That's what bothers me. Okay. So I don't care what you're going out there to protest. I don't care what side you're on, whatever that means. I don't care. And I encourage anyone to go out there and do so, as long as they're conducting themselves in a fashion that represents what an American is, what our forefathers had in mind as an American to exercise these rights. So please, as long as you're doing that, by all means, you have absolutely my support. And that includes Dolly Vision. I want to be very clear about that. That includes Dolly Vision. But the problem is that Dolly Vision has a history of showing up to things like this in order to stir shit up, in order to cause trouble, in order to gain to hype up his content in order to build his channel. Low-hanging fruit type of content, the kind of content that anybody is going to tune in and watch. If you happen to be someone who tests trains to see what they look like when they crash, well, then you would be an idiot to not film literal train wrecks, wouldn't you? Because it would just be very easy. People would watch train wrecks just to watch train wrecks. So the thing is Dolly is one of these bottom feeding YouTubers who will do this. Now, this is his character. Now, the thing is, again, this is not me trying to say, hey, don't, whatever he's out there doing, if he's conducting himself just because he's saying something that you don't agree with, or he's trying to rile you up, don't feed into it. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying there have been many times where I have tried to express this warning, but I didn't have the kind of advantage that I have now. And the advantage that I have now is most of those protesters out there actually listen to my channel and they enjoy it. And they like and respect me for the most part. And I am very grateful for that. So it would be wrong of me to not tell you guys, hey, this is somebody who I'm very familiar with. And if he's out there, and he is out there in Boston, and he is out there with the intention of showing up to these protests, now, yes, just know what kind of guy he is. I'm not saying to interfere with him in any way. I am discouraging that completely, as a matter of fact. If he's going out there to express his First Amendment right, it's actually important that he does do that. So that's at least my opinion. But understand the kind of guy that you're dealing with. And before we get into the Karen Reed stuff, we're going to get into that. Now, this is by a channel called Unsupervised Maniacs. Now, I want you to click on this. You have seen Unsupervised Maniacs in chat when I've talked about Dolly before. Now, go ahead and click on the link that I just dropped in the chat, please, and give the video a like. I would really appreciate it, because Unsupervised Maniacs worked really hard on this. And I am going to play this in high speed and skip over the stuff that isn't really relevant. But it's important that you guys see this. Okay? That's why I'm going to play it and go over it, because I believe that anybody who is out there in Norfolk County and planning on attending these protests and have a mindset of being respectful and setting an example, understand that not everyone is going to go out there possibly with that same intention, and to just be mindful of it and be ready for it. And this way, when you're ready for it, it's going to be easier for you to maintain your composure and still set an example for everyone else.
You pimping? I got a pocket full.
Are you making money off the backs of kids? Or so she said something of that nature, and I was like, "Damn, sure am." You know how I am. I don't give a fuck. What'd you say, woman?
You had several people trying to get my attention. Well, if you need to get my attention that bad, that it's like so important, all you gotta do is hit like a super sticker, a super chat.
This video is protected under the Fair Use Act of 1976 for commentary, documentary, awareness, and educational purposes. All strikes are against YouTube's terms of service and can result in termination of your channel.
What's up, YouTube? It's the Outlaw.
I think I seen a UFO. What? It's the Jimmy Jam Show.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Lockdown Connection. I'm your host, Beetlejuice. What is up, YouTube? It is your boy, Jimmy Jam. What is up, YouTube? It is your boy, Dolly, back in the house again tonight.
Virginia, so represent motherfuckers that y'all 2 up, 2 down.
I had to hear it, so do you.
Well, that wasn't very nice because no, why do I have to hear that? That was
My
awful.
video's not monetized.
Whatever that was.
I ain't made nothing off of these videos. I'm going to school to be a PI when I get back to VA to 7. I start school to 7.
I know you were going to pay for him to go into investigative or whatever schooling, and you were upset that he was taking the channel kind of a different or getting too much drama.
Actually, Tina, that's not true. I wasn't upset. I gave Jimmy the money, and I said, "You do what you need to do with it."
So you didn't care that he didn't go to the investigative.
Well, I gave him money.
And what did it cost?
I gave him money to support that expedition.
Right, but you were upset. You were
Did
bummed.
he go on the expedition or no?
wasn't upset. I wasn't upset when he didn't, because I understood.
So he didn't go on the expedition. Okay, he didn't go.
No, so I understood that maybe he couldn't have because you have to have certain resources. I continue to support him because I believe him. I'm not blaming PJ.
She's blaming herself a little,
you.
right, Dame?
I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming PJ. I'm blaming Dolly because he's a fucking fraud.
I'll just learn from that and move on. Allegedly. That's in your opinion. That's your opinion. You gotta blame yourself a little one for that, though, because come on.
Yeah, I got you. You're right.
Well, you learned. I mean, how much money altogether would you say on defer?
I don't know the right to ask, but that's up to her.
Yeah, I spent a lot of money on him. I probably gave him $20,000.
FBI can thank me for that. You know what I'm saying?
So somebody says that they probably gave him $20,000, and he was supposed to get a PI's license, and then he never got it. I remember him saying that and laughing.
Well, I just want you and Betty to be safe when you get back.
So next time the FBI run up on me, just remember y'all owe me one. Okay, owe me one.
I got you.
That's what I'm like. Y'all owe me one, man. Y'all got some evidence. Y'all got some evidence. I had to be shaking bacon, me and Betty, right? So
right.
They had to retreat, and that retreat got that video, got them on the news. It brought more attention to them in Georgia. So I think it did a lot of good. You can run with high. Shocking.
Well, this is how Dolly Vision really helped the FBI and law enforcement. Spoiler alert, he didn't.
Your baby's dead. Your baby's dead. Your baby's dead.
That's the guy who's in Boston right now. Okay. Thanks, little Irish girl. I appreciate it. Oh my God! But it's got to be a cuck church dance for that one, right? Yeah.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. 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 I think we got a super dad.
Thank you, little Irish girl. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know it's fast. I'm playing it fast because we have a lot to go over tonight, and I don't want to spend too much time on Dolly. But yeah, it's going to take a minute though.
Your baby's dead.
Now this is in front of the home of Leilani Simon and Billy Joe Simon. Billy Joe being Leilani Simon's mother. And Leilani Simon being Quentin Simon's mother, and Billy Joe being Quentin Simon's grandmother. And if you're familiar with that case, then you are familiar with what these idiots were doing. This guy, Bullhorn Betty, Molly Golightly showed up eventually. Justin for all idiot. Another total idiot. Yeah. And these people just made an absolute circus out of this. And meanwhile, and what they were doing were protesting, and Betty was trash talking Chief Hadley, and these officers that were looking for this baby were digging through, I believe it was 2 million pounds of garbage refuse in a landfill, because that's where their investigation led them, and they were in hazmat suits, and and digging for this poor baby, and they eventually found him. And in the meantime, when these officers were doing exactly what, living up to the integrity of what police officers should be doing, and beyond, these people were trash talking the chief of police, and in Chatham County, and the Chatham County Police Department. And sorry, it makes me mad when I think about it, because I remember going over this when it was happening, and me being passionate about this case and knowing what he's all about and why he's going out there. It bothers me too. But this one a little bit more, because this is about a little baby, and these people were incredibly disrespectful, like a nightmare, actually.
They also said I was out there disorderly conduct. I never raised my voice.
This is all outside that home.
Okay, look at here. 34 on a play. That's right. They also said I was out there disorderly conduct. I never raised my voice. Air, come over here and put a hand on me. Come put a hand on me so I can destroy your little ass out here. I'll mop this goddamn street with you. Okay? Touch me.
Talking to that old lady.
Do it again. Watch out, ass out of jail in Georgia. Do it again. Do it again, bitch. Do it again. Do it again. I'll go to jail right out this motherfucker. You know why, motherfucker? You know why? Because I'm a tragedy pimp and I got a pocket full of fucking money. They also said I was out there disorderly conduct. I never raised my voice.
Dolly needs a vacation. It's been hard dancing in a turtle mask in front of a murdered child's home for donations.
Get back to VA. It's Halloween. I want to do some Halloween stuff. I want to go hit a haunted house and stuff like that. You know, just Halloweeny shit, right? I'm on the road. I'm ready to chill. Can a kid go missing in Hawaii? Please. That would be great.
I've worked with victims for probably the last 25 years in very different capacities. I started out in the trauma unit, and I kind of moved into therapy, and as well as a court-appointed victims advocate. It's kind of scary to see what social media is doing to some of these families right now. Families that are potentially victims, and right now they are victims. There's been no proof that they have anything to do with their missing loved one. And it's very concerning that I see people like Dolly Vision making money off of this with clickbait titles like, was she pregnant?
See, the philosophy behind these types of channels that, like, I tend to point out and I go over quite a bit, is their money-making grift. Their formula for it is to find the people who surround the victim and then point fingers at them. Dig into their personal lives, find things that will make the masses look at them and go, oh my God, look at them. Something that will make judgy people, and there's a lot of judgy people out there, something that will make judgy people point the fingers at these people. And it, again, very low-hanging fruit. But the problem with that is chances are is that person is innocent. And they are going through the worst thing that you could possibly ever go through, I would imagine, if you're a parent or you know, a loved one of someone who has gone missing or is murdered. And so you know, Dolly, without even looking at any actual evidence, just listening to court TV and shit like that, he tried to spin the narrative of Karen Reed being guilty, tried to jump on that, but he wasn't getting enough views doing it, because the thing is people following this case for the most part have common sense. There's a very small number of people. If you look at that, would be why Plevin only gets so many views, because the people who think Karen Reed is guilty don't, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of them. So it's really funny. So he wasn't getting those kind of views and he dropped it. And the way he tried to manipulate that was, the fact that Turtle Boy, he considers himself, you know, the turtle or whatever. And people, I don't know what his connection is with the turtle or whatever, Dolly's, but, Turtle Boy being Turtle Boy and kind of, you know, having a bigger platform and having that already like bothers him, and him getting all this attention, and me interacting with Turtle Boy and having a history with him, he was trying to bait me into a back and forth, which I will not oblige him in. Not in this case, because I know what he's all about. And I know what his game is, and I know what he's trying to do. And I will not contribute to him exploiting these people in Massachusetts. Like I just won't do it. Because he does not care. And like I'm saying, even if you believe Karen Reed is guilty, you do not benefit from having this person speaking on your narrative's behalf. Like it just doesn't, it's not a good thing. Because of the reasons why we're going over here. So this is just a warning to all of the locals out there. It is the least I could do for all of the support that you have shown me. So you should know, if I know of someone who's going to be out there, who actually is out there, and they're capable of this behavior, it is my duty to inform you guys of it.
Or did this happen? Or the essay of this one?
Right. Like he is making so much money off the back of Sebastian Rogers right now.
Because it's very offensive.
It's crazy.
I don't think anybody should think this is acceptable and this is okay.
And he's not even trying to hide it. Like what he's doing right now with Sebastian Rogers is the epitome of what the worst people on YouTube are doing with the Sebastian Rogers case. I mean, he is pointing fingers at the mother and at the stepfather, spreading crazy rumors. He doesn't even care. He's just standing by it like, yeah. And he's gaining a shit ton of subscribers doing it too, which is fine. I'm not against anybody building their channel, but what it is to me is just discouraging, because it tells me what kind of people, how many shitty people are out there, you know. that's what's discouraging to me about it, is that people would support someone like this. Let me just go through unsupervised maniacs. And I don't mean any disrespect to her. I have a lot to go over today, and I just want to get to the Dolly stuff and
lies and drama for views and high profile missing and murdered children's cases.
But please, on your free time, watch this video when you're not distracted by chat, and at least click on it and give it a like for me, please.
Good luck getting your drugs. Good luck getting your drugs. Everybody share this video. Everybody in Savannah share. Let everybody know. Post on your community walls. Billy Joe is an informant for the Savannah police. Okay? Dolly told you. I bet you $100. Anybody wants to put the money up, I ain't wrong. Anybody. Take the bet. That woman's an informant. You're a snitch informant that is selling your ass on the streets of Savannah for drugs, for bikers that you ain't even getting all the drugs for.
Right? Every time I want to start this bitch, I gotta be like, right? So you gotta blow it to start the vehicle, right? Then 5 minutes after you get down the street, I don't know, they switch up drivers or what they do, but then you gotta blow it.
Okay, I don't care about that.
It GPSes me and it sends it all to my probation officer. It's almost as sad as what's going on in the city with the missing baby and being gone. It's that fucked up, you know. You add that to that, and this is the element, the reason why Quentin is missing.
Yeah, she is.
You brought them kids up to be the way they are. You made Leilani the way she is. Quentin, you fucking get the fuck out of here, you fake ass crying. You running out there, please help me. Oh,
that's the grandmother of a missing child that he's talking about.
But when everybody walk down the street, you talk all this cash shit on shares. We walk down the street, you ran.
And she hasn't been implicated in anything.
You ran because you were a coward. You ran because you were a coward. You thought, oh, we're going to get somebody locked up and they're going to leave me alone. No, you just turned up the heat in your community. Giving drugs to Summer, alcohol to Summer, alcohol to other little kids, not just Summer.
None of that is true. There's no evidence of this at all. So this is just, he is like, he just blast misinformation because it entertains him to do so. He knows that he's going to get more clicks and views based on misinformation, and he doesn't care. He knows it, and that's why he does it. Like, he actually does it not because he's ignorant to the case so much as he is. I mean, he's ignorant to the case, but at the same time, what I'm saying is he will spread misinformation deliberately because he knows that is what is going to get him more views.
Molesting other little kids, drugging other little kids. You give me a reason why we build a prison. Give me a reason.
for people just like that. That's why we build them.
Now that's his brother.
Now they said Grandis wasn't bad. Grandis was a pill popper. She like
That picture of him was his brother. Now there's like allegations supposedly of I don't know how factual it is. I know that there's like video footage of his brother. I think I even went over it one time, but his brother saying something really disgusting involving his daughter. But supposedly his brother is a registered sex offender, and he was living with his brother or something to that effect. But to me, that's not here nor there when it comes to what we're talking about here.
Appeals, and that's where theory.
But it just goes into his character.
Summer maybe getting into her medicine comes from, because Grandis like some Percocets, you know what I'm saying? And the badass kids. Let's talk about the boys. The reason she had to be in the hospital, Grandis, is because the boys kicked the shit out of her. Allie went on to verify that again too. That the reason Grandis was in the hospital is because the boys put her in the hospital.
If you saw part 1, you saw Dolly commit battery on a female. Let's see what Dolly does when he's threatening men on the internet.
BK, when I see him, we're gonna have a little talk, okay? Me and BK gonna have a little talk. BK, I'll be down in Tennessee next week. Show up. Show up in Tennessee, BK. Show your ass up in Tennessee. Show up here. Show up here. No, BK, show up anywhere that I'm at. Anywhere. I'll give you the days I'm gonna be there. I'll give you the times I'm gonna be there.
That is literally him trying to stir up drama at a protest. Okay? That's not, oh, look, he might, no, this is literally him doing that right now. Trying to stir drama at a protest, saying, oh, come out here, oh, blah, 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 blah. This is not what the people of Norfolk County have in mind. This is not the attitude that has gone into this. This is not the spirit of behind that is driving what they're doing in no way, shape, or form. So this is the element that is going to be there. It will be up to you whether or not it infects. But I don't think it will, because I think that you people are amazing. So yeah.
You show up any place I'm at ever. Come on. I'll give you a ticket. I'll pay for your flight. You know what I'm saying? You come hang out with TV? Come hang out with TV. You come to Georgia? I'll pay for your ticket tonight. Hit me up on the message. Hit me up the DMs like you like to do. You want to come to Georgia? Bring your ass here tonight.
I also said I was out there disorderly conduct. I never raised my voice.
Nothing.
And you guys are out partying and drinking.
Well, that baby's dead.
That's it.
Playing with garbage on its head. On its head. I'm not the one that put him there. Maybe you should go have your daughter or your granddaughter do it.
Y'all shouldn't even be around babies.
Now here,
You assault a woman? That sounds.
it's him and Bullhorn Betty yelling at the grandfather, I believe, of Quentin Simon. And he's like a biker guy, I remember going over this when it happened. And yeah, this is
That's just about right.
That's the reason. That's why your family's in this predicament right now. Because you're violent.
The violence from that household is what contributed.
Your family's violent. It's why your daughter is going to prison.
yeah. Let's play that one more time.
Your family's in this predicament right now. Because you're violent.
The violence from that household is what contributed.
Your family's violent. It's
Yeah.
why your daughter is going to prison. That's why she's going to prison, because you people are violent.
Everybody's violent.
It's me. You out here being violent.
Step away from me.
I don't have to.
You step in my bubble.
I'm
Don't,
right here.
don't step in my bubble, sir. We'll take step away from me.
Why?
Step away from me.
You got nothing but a mouth.
Okay?
You got no ass to mouth.
Now, the thing is it says here, Dolly speaks on an elderly veteran who was victimized by these clowns that spent weeks screaming in front of his home for views and donations because it's better money than seven. He didn't or attempt to hurt anybody. He didn't try or attempt to hurt anybody. Right. And I got to say, I went over that footage. Like, the whole footage isn't shown here, but this gentleman, he was a gentleman. He was nice. And they followed him to a hotel because they drew them out of their home because they were yelling and screaming through a bullhorn in front of their house for days. And so they went to a hotel, and then they followed him to the hotel. This is what they did. These are the kind of people we're talking about. A family of a missing child. Now, the mother Because their philosophy, you heard Dolly screaming it and saying it. Their philosophy there was, well, if the daughter is guilty of killing her son, well, then that makes everybody guilty, the whole family. How? I can only imagine how devastating that is for a grandparent, that their child killed their grandchild. I can't begin to visualize what that feeling could even. I don't want to, and I for the sake of trying to be empathetic and wanting to try to imagine it, I still don't even know where to begin. And these people don't care. They don't care. And you're seeing video footage of it. It's not like I'm just saying this shit. You're watching it.
This is how Dolly Vision talks about an elderly veteran who was upset. Dolly Vision spent weeks screaming in front of his home for donations. The man didn't or attempt to hurt anybody.
Dolly, back in the house, crazy stuff going down in Georgia. We're gonna talk about it. I got Tattooed Rebel with me. I got Paper Cut Tina with me. Also, we are taking pre-orders on Dolly merch, t-shirts, and soaps. I got to get my broke ass back to Georgia. Apparently, 3 people went to jail today. Dude, punk ass that cry down there that lives in the meth lab. Apparently, Ethan came out with a baseball bat, acting crazy as shit. Apparently. Y'all are in my rear view. Okay, look. I don't even see back. You only see the headlights. Your headlights are missing like Kylie Rodney's, okay?
And our third breaking story this afternoon, this time in Nevada County. Authorities have ruled the death of truckee teen Kylie Rodney is accidental and say there is no evidence suggesting foul play. The 2-week-long search for Rodney ended back in August after her body was found along with her vehicle at Prosser Creek Reservoir in Truckee. Her death was the result of drowning.
Y'all are in my rear view, okay? Look. I don't even see back. You only see the headlights. Your headlights are missing like Kylie Rodney's, okay?
Nice to see you too. Hey, Dolly, be careful. Prayers for your safe travels. Cajun Navy took over. Well, Dolly about to come up into the game. Dolly be there today. We're going to see if we can fall into that river.
We want to take you to Nashville right now, where police there say they found the body of missing college student Riley Strange. Let's listen.
I had a company that adjoins the Cumberland River that had been searching for anything that would pop up on the river, and especially looking for Riley Strange if he would surface here. As they were removing an object from the river, they noticed what appeared to be Riley Strange pop up. The fire department was called in, retrieved the body from the river.
Dolly Vision searches, or hunts as he likes to call it, for missing children for donations, often on a live stream.
Cody Bixby captured the hearts of people in the community and beyond.
We've wanted this for 26 months, and we finally got it.
A jury found Cody's father, Corey Bixby, guilty of murdering him and concealing his body. After hearing closing arguments from attorneys on both sides, it took jurors roughly 2 hours to come to a unanimous decision. Supporters of the boy let out a sigh of relief inside the courtroom when the clerk read the guilty verdicts.
Oh my God, I wanted to get up and scream, but I couldn't.
I think we got a super dad, super dad. I think we got a super dad, super dad, super dad, super dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super chat.
Scott McGinnis, thank you so much. One thing I've learned over the last year following or involved in the Free Karen Read movement is that I despise most of the Krama community grifting. Just being honest, they're fools. Exactly. Because they all jump to the conclusion, first of all, that Karen Read was guilty. And all that tells me is that they don't read documents. And this is proven. That's why they all stopped talking about it, because the more that things came out, the more it showed that this conspiracy theory is not so much a theory. There's more and more and more evidence to show that it is absolutely very real. And so, yeah, these people are yeah, and so they've moved on to other things. But now Dolly, even though he moved on to other things because it wasn't getting him the views, has now shown up to Boston.
Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, he makes his own t-shirts that say searcher and media. He puts his YouTube channel on children's missing flyers. He absolutely does that. He puts his YouTube channel on children's missing flyers. The general public have no idea he is either of those things.
Saying, all right, come on.
I mean, look at this. This is him hanging up a flyer in a store window in Tennessee.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a blessing.
Or I'm not sure. No, not Tennessee. But look, and there's his channel. See, right there. Right there. YouTube Dolly on a kid's missing persons flyer.
Okay, we're going out into Zekia territory.
This is this is him getting ready for a search. It needs, you guys know what it means. You guys know what it needs. Oh my God, this is fantastic. All right. All right. Now this has moved on to this other part.
Of missing Fruitland boy Michael Vaughn. And tonight, so many questions still remain. Thank you for joining us here on this special edition of Saturday News at 10.
Now, Michael Monkey Vaughn is still missing.
Live right here on the news at 5 and 6. Take a look now. This is
Michael Monkey Vaughn is still missing, y'all.
updated map of the area. The home is about 4 minutes away from the Vaughn's neighborhood where Michael was last seen. The then 5-year-old went missing in July of last year, and there's been a nationwide search since. KTV was first on scene today, and Jude Binkley walks us through what we know so far.
Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff confirmed they're looking for missing Michael Vaughn's remains in the backyard of this house on Red Wing Street in Fruitland. On Saturday afternoon, law enforcement and search crews dug up the backyard of a home nestled in this Fruitland subdivision, only 4 minutes away from where Michael Vaughn lived and was last seen. Police got a search warrant to scour this house on Red Wing Street in Fruitland Friday night and all day Saturday. Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff said they received a credible tip, one of more than 1,200 tips they've fielded about Michael's case since he went missing on July 27, 2021. At a press conference this summer, Huff told reporters a legitimate tip brought their investigation back to the area of Fruitland. Fruitland PD, Idaho State Police, and Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue used heavy machinery, including a backhoe, to dig. They cut down a tree and part of the fence. Canines were also out helping search for any remains. Huff says a couple lives at the house but doesn't own it. He isn't aware of any connection they have to the Vaughn family.
No matter what's happened, it's been tragic for the family, and that's tough.
In this coming year, if they haven't found nothing today, and they don't find him in that backyard, then I'm not going to go out to Fruitland, Idaho yet. If for some crazy reason they find Michael Monkey Vaughn in his backyard, I need my mom to start looking for plane tickets. I'm going to probably fly out to Idaho.
So I just got to point out real quick how I can't believe how perfect that was. The Benny Hill music over Dolly Vision searching. That was just kismet.
Taking money off that little girl's fucking back for the last fucking 2.5 years and not wanting to help a fucking soul but yourself. Your own pocket. You don't care about nobody else on the whole fucking planet but yourself. So all you people out there watching this go down, when y'all took thousands and thousands of dollars off that little girl's fucking thing, should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. Absolutely terribly ashamed of yourself. That when somebody that's actually there that needs it, they don't fucking get it. They don't get it. Right? They have to get up here and really fucking beg for it. When y'all stole just ungodly amounts of money. You can't even.
This is the kind of thing that gets him followers, because he is very, very, like, for a guy who's clearly a fucking idiot, right? He's got like snake oil salesman street smarts. You know what I mean? Like, what he does is he pours sugar in your ear by sounding all passionate about, you know, this and that and the other, and then does exactly what he says. It makes him mad. But what happens is he's doing it and he's attracting people who are doing the same thing, right? So when he's pointing fingers at innocent people, at families of victims, at family members of victims and loved ones. So, like, when he's doing this, because there's what you've got. Here's the thing. I'm going to get a little deep here. Shitty people never know that they're shitty. Shitty people always think that they're like the best people in the world, right? Right? We all do. That's why it's really important to check yourself. It's really important to be self-aware. It's really important to be open to criticism. It's things like that. Really, really important, because these things keep us in check, because it is human nature for us to just always think that we're the good guy. You know what I mean? So the thing is, though, he preys upon the people who don't have the self-awareness. He has the self-awareness. He knows he's a shitbag. He wears it. But the thing is like, he preys upon the people who think that they're not shitbags, but are. It's the goof of all time. When you really think about it, it's amazing when you think about it. He has managed to target that demographic of shitty people who think that they're good because they get to point the finger at people. And so when they get to agree with him, when he says things like this, it validates their shitty behavior. It makes them feel validated. It makes them feel, I'm a good person, because the things like the things that he's talking about right now that make him mad, make me mad too. Clever. You got to not do that, please. Hey, eat your food. Eat your food. Don't knock it over. All right. 1 second, guys. I got to put his bowl like up. Dude, I know. I love you, buddy. Hold on. I'm going to put your bowl up if you're not going to eat right now. I left it down there so you'd finish eating. We're going to be down here a while. Why don't you go eat your food? Just don't knock over your bowl, okay? All right. You want to say hi to everybody? Here, hold on. Say hi. Say hi. I love you too, buddy.
Even count. Like, I heard so many nightmares when I came into crime. So many nightmares. Right? And the same people that were doing it before I got here or still doing it, still doing it. Y'all are pieces of shit. Right? Pieces of shit. Terribly bad pieces of shit. But everybody that supports that, you're aiding this shit so bad. Everybody clicks on them hateful monster ass videos just to attack people. Y'all are helping this.
I mean, look at that. Look at all those videos where he just tags a missing person's name. Yo, Brandy Churchwell, 13th juror. Welcome. Good to see you.
It's all about the Benjamins. Maybe what do my P. Diddy dance. All about the Benjamins. What? Right?
Wow, that didn't age well.
Why did anybody tell me it was about the goddamn money? The reward is $70K, and all I got to do is cuddle up with Candace? Shit, go ahead, write my check. Hawkins County, write my check. I'm about to cash this shit in.
So here he is. Basically, what he was doing was implying that Candace Bly, Summer Wells' mother, was responsible for Summer's disappearance. Basically accusing her of murdering her own child, which there's absolutely no evidence to indicate this. And so for a moment there, for a little while there was actually a reward for $70,000. And so this was him talking about it and basically saying that for $70K, then all I got to do is cuddle up to Candace, implying that if he slept with the mother of a missing child and seduced her, he could get a confession out of her and then collect the $70,000 by sleeping with the mother of a missing child. Classy. Time to slide into those DMs, he says.
A missing child's mother threatens self-harm. Dolly sees a money-making opportunity. If you are struggling, dial 988. You are valued.
Somebody get me the number to Hawkins County, right? Something, right? This lady just texted me that she's going to kill herself. She had never hit me up before, None of that. I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to tune in. I don't want to call the emergency line. What's up, Molly?
Why wouldn't you call the emergency line, first of all? Someone just texted you, supposedly. Of course, I mean, it's the mother of a missing child. And she just texted you, supposedly threatening to kill herself. And your response is, I'm not going to call their emergency line. Why wouldn't you do that? Second, I mean, you're making content out of it. That's something that you will never, ever see me do. You'll never, ever see me do that. Ever. On the very rare occasion that I've gotten, someone reaching out to me or saying that they're having these thoughts, I kindly remind them that I am not the person to contact about that. And I will provide them with a suicide hotline, speak to a trained professional who is qualified to talk to someone in a crisis like that. I'm not qualified to do that. I'm an entertainer. That's all I am here. Although you might find me insightful at times, that does not mean that I'm qualified to help you with that issue. As soon as I would get something like that, especially from the mother of a missing child, I would absolutely contact the emergency response in Hawkins County. Of course I would. Immediately. I wouldn't even think about it. And I would not even think about going live to do it.
When we get 1,000 likes, oh wow, we just messed with 1,000. Y'all let me know when we hit 1,000.
Look at those thumbnails. Like, that's a missing child right here in a thumbnail with Molly Golightly's head on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Molly Golightly's head on Hellraiser, on Pinhead Hellraiser with Summer Wells here. I mean, disgusting. Like, absolutely no shame at all. This is the epitome of tragedy pimping. Brandy Churchwell, this is Dolly Vision, and he's in Boston right now, planning to attend the protests outside of the court.
Milestone in an East Tennessee missing child investigation that has captured national attention. Summer Wells has been missing for 1,000 days. The 5-year-old disappeared from her rural Hawkins County home in June of 2021. The little girl liked Paw Patrol and was preparing to start kindergarten. If alive, she's now 8 years old. And here's the TVI's latest age progression image of what she could look like today. Summer's mother says the little girl was last seen inside her family's Beach Creek home. The TVI calls the search for Summer one of the most exhaustive and involved missing child case it's ever investigated, and promised not to stop searching for Summer until it finds answers. She is still the subject of an Amber Alert. Anyone with information can call 1-800-TVI-FIND.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he dropped a video today, Stephanie.
Continues. Land, air, and sea.
He dropped a video today.
All right. See what we got out here. On
Now, I guess you know what? I think you've seen enough. I think you've seen enough. Let me do this real quick. This is today.
Hell, okay. So the Karen Reed stuff, she got a really good job. She makes really good money. She hit him with a Lexus, and there's no way to purposely tell if she did it.
So I just think she's gonna get off. I honestly, truly do. PJ, she don't think she's gonna get off. PJ believes they have something on her. Me myself, I'm like, yeah, they're gonna get her. The only good thing about these crack hotels is you can smoke in them. Where's my lighter? Somewhere. So anyway, her jury selection is tomorrow. Hopefully they pick it up quick because I want to be sitting up here all week. And then I'm like, I came up here for nothing because then if they're selecting the jury all week, there's no trial. I at least want to sit in a couple days of the
How
trial
long do you
before I head back. Right? We go camp.
Do you see what I'm talking about? Here's this idiot, and he doesn't even know how long jury selection could take. He doesn't, I mean, he has no idea how long jury selection could take. And I expect jury selection to be very complicated in this case. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. And I will be streaming that 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So yeah, he has no idea.
Camping at Yogi Bear, all right, because we may take a camping trip after this Boston trip, and then we got another trip. We got a lot of trips planned this year. We're gonna be a lot of places, okay? Yeah, we're gonna have to get that $2 trains going though, because these crack hotels, hey, y'all get Dolly killed. I'm holding y'all responsible. I'm holding you responsible. So a lot of people will be out there screaming justice for John O'Keefe. John O'Keefe, if they free Karen Reed, John O'Keefe probably will never get no justice, to be honest. Karen Reed's probably the one that did it. Just, I believe in the system that you have to prove it, and I don't think they can prove it. You be tripping, Dolly. I want to meet you and PJ next time y'all come to Massachusetts. How the hell do you say that?
Jesus, dude.
Massachusetts. Red rum. Karen Reed is 100% innocent, and I don't want you to sound foolish out there, Dolly. I'm not going to sound foolish. I mean, I know people believe she's innocent. I know I know what 8 vodka and sodas will do to me. All right, I'll run over everybody in Boston. You put 8 vodka and sodas in me. I'd be on God. It'd be quadruple murder trial and ran over the whole damn neighborhood. Okay, so I just don't see no alibi, any reason. Oh look, check out the new Dolly pen.
Alibi. Listen to this guy. He hasn't read one document.
DollySoap.com. You know you want one. You know you want one of these pens. Look at that fly ass pen.
Jesus.
Moving up in the world. Got my own pens. What do you know about that?
Wow.
In a crack hotel, the pen costs more than a hotel room. All right. Guilty. I think she is crazy, but I think she's innocent. Oh Lord, what would John Fellow's brother want him unalived? My question really is, did she do it with intent? Dolly, I got no privileges. My weed comes from the street dealers. Okay, well, that's great. You know what I'm saying? That's straight. They got this little place called Harbor House here. Really nice. I enjoy it. John O'Keefe's father wants to sit on Karen Reed's side of the courtroom. He is coming around to the truth. I don't know. Listen, guys, I know the families out there, John O'Keefe, and they were getting booed and like you guys up here in Boston were doing them dirty. Like dirty. Like, I don't know why y'all do. Listen, y'all out there screaming justice for John O'Keefe, but y'all are booing his family. Love Boston. Beautiful, historic, so much. I don't understand that. Okay. Now, the mama, when I seen the mom flick Turtle Boy off, I mean, what do you want her to do? That's her son, right? And if she thinks Karen Reed did it, she has that right to think Karen Reed did it. When you boo, how can you scream justice for somebody and then boo their mama? Okay. How can you boo somebody's mama? Like, what? Somebody's mama. Okay. A dead dude's mama. Y'all are out there booing. You can't boo his family. I know. What the hell, people? What the hell? Listen, turtle people out there, we have different turtles than us, right? I got no problem with y'all other turtles. I am a turtle king of all turtles, okay? But y'all can't do that stuff. Y'all can't do. I mean, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. It ain't right, okay? In no shape or form is that right. Would you want somebody booing your mama? Her son's dead. They out there booing her and shit like that. That's so. Some of us are assholes. You said that right, I guess. Boston's a tough town, but you don't boo the mama. Okay, I don't care how tough. Go fight somebody down the street. Go hit him with a beer bottle, but don't boo a dead man's mama. Okay, damn. Y'all could be out there screaming John O'Keefe sucks. That's not as bad as booing his mama. Okay, damn. The whole time we want justice for John O'Keefe. That's just a lie, guys. I mean, y'all be mad at me out here, but that is a lie. If you want justice, you would want real justice, no matter what that was. Now, I ain't saying Karen Reed did it. I'm just saying, don't boo the mama. Good Lord.
Now, he's saying that those of you protesting don't want justice for John O'Keefe. You see what I'm talking about? Little Irish girl, it won't let me say what I really want, so fill in the blanks. Well, I will do so, Little Irish girl. Thank you so much. What's Microdots saying? What's up, Microdots? The biggest misconception is the false claim anyone booed the family. I have it all on film. Oh, I know. I just want you guys to hear what he's saying so that you guys understand he's going out there deliberately to start shit. Please don't feed into it. Do yourselves a favor. Know his game before tomorrow even comes. This is the purpose of me doing this. Do not play his game.
Lord, somebody going to hell. All right? I'm
Luna's
trying to get in with little
mom.
baby Jesus. Y'all out there booing dead people's mamas.
Luna's mom, thank you. Member for 3 months, right on. Mute and block these idiots. Ignore him. Right. Like when he shows out there, just know. Yeah. Yeah, like I showed you guys what this guy, I showed you guys video just now of what this guy looks like in a protest. Okay. You've seen this guy already, like video footage of this guy right here at a protest.
I ain't never booed a dead person's mama. I just dropped 20 bags off at postoffice.com. We're almost out of coconut turtle haze, and it is so good, says PJ.
Just their grandmama, right?
So, people out there, I know y'all ain't gonna listen to me, but man, can y'all be a little politer? Can you be nice? I get the whole mask whole thing, you know what I'm saying? But I'm from the South where people are polite and nice, and you could have said, "Hey, mom."
I mean, this is gold after what we just watched.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, the
You know what I
Boston
mean?
Marathon is going on right now. Okay. So why you want me to run in it? You got enough money? I'll join up right now. Dolly be on the run. The Karen Reed trial starts tomorrow. Well, jury selection does. Still no answers, and we're gonna be talking about Sebastian Rogers tonight. So I'm not gonna get into it right now. Okay. But we will be discussing that later tonight, the whole Sebastian Rogers thing. I can't wait to meet a lot of you Boston people out here tomorrow. You know, it should be a true experience. Let me say that. Let me say that. And just remember, guys, if you're nice to me out there, I will always be nice to you. If somebody comes at me and is not the politest, I'm not the politest person back. Okay. But if you see me out there at the court case and you're from this area and you come up and be like, "Hey, Dolly, hey, Jimmy," I'll treat you
Member
with
for
the
a
same
month.
amount.
Thank you so much. Just for John O'Keefe, free
Okay.
Karen Reed.
It don't matter to me that I have a different opinion. I know a lot of the people's opinions are out there that Karen Reed is innocent. Now, I ain't so much she's innocent, but I'm more the free Karen Reed thing because she can't prove she's guilty. Dolly entered a marathon. You know how old Dolly is? Good Lord, my back hurts, my bones hurt, my knees hurt, I ain't joining shit. Dolly ain't so much she's innocent, but I know a lot of the people's opinions are out there that Karen Reed is innocent. Now, I ain't so much she's innocent, but I'm more the free Karen Reed thing because she can't prove she's guilty. Dolly entered a marathon.
Okay, so this is Dolly backpedaling. This is fucking wonderful. So this is Dolly backpedaling. He's saying that I'm sticking by what I said. She's guilty, but I'm all on board with the whole free Karen Reed movement because you can't prove it. That's totally what he just fucking said. Would you like me to play it again? Yeah, I'm gonna play it again. Anyway, I am just gonna do that.
Different opinion. I know a lot of the people's opinions are out there that Karen Reed is innocent. Now, I ain't so much she's innocent, but I'm more the free Karen Reed thing because she can't prove she's guilty. Dolly entered a marathon. You know how old Dolly is? Good Lord, my back hurts, my bones.
This guy doesn't believe in anything. Like, there is no way that he could even begin to grasp the spirit behind why you guys go out there. He can't do it. So please keep this in mind. There's no reason to get upset at him. There's no reason to, there's no reason to, no matter what he says or does, there's absolutely no reason that is logical or rational to react to this fool. Okay? So I just want that said. On that, we'll move on. Okay? On that, we'll move on. Now, tomorrow is jury selection for Karen Reed's trial. which I expect to be interesting. I will be streaming it. I will be live tomorrow morning, and I hope you guys join me for that. Yeah, this dude. Okay, so moving on. There was also I was watching this Andrea Burkhart. She did almost a 3-hour live stream. She's an attorney with like 70,000 subscribers. And she was dropping some bombshells. I was listening for a little bit. And then there's another attorney named Lawyer Lee who also covered this. And I was thinking about going over that one with you guys because I had not done that yet. So I wanted to go over this, and I'm gonna play this faster too, just because there's a lot to go over, guys. And yeah, you guys, if you like my drip, okay, go into the description. There's a link, Teespring link, and you can get yourself a t-shirt and all kinds of other cool stuff there. I shilled my merch. Moving on.
I'm joined today by WBZ IT reporter Christina Hager to talk about the.
This is a 20-minute conversation here between. This is a CBS Boston thing. Paula Eben and Christina Hager discuss the upcoming Karen Reed trial. So let's listen to what these ladies have to say. I haven't watched this yet, but you guys know I like to do reactions and see what the buzz is about on the streets as far as this case goes.
The Karen Reed case. If you go by the Dedham District Court any day that there's a hearing or a reason for that case to be on the docket, you will see people outside Dedham Courthouse with signs and shirts that read "Free Karen Reed." But why? What has taken place in this case? What's it all about? We want to begin by bringing you up to speed. If you haven't heard fully about the Karen Reed case, and so Christina, let's talk first about the events. Thank you for doing this. First of all, you've been on this case from the very beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah, happy to join you. There's so much intrigue and so many layers to this case.
Yeah, it really has become a cause celeb in New England, online and on television with every journalist in the greater Boston area. So let's just begin with the very basics and give us an outline of what happened the night the case begins.
Yeah, so in the beginning, there isn't much dispute about how this started. Go back to January 28th. 2022. There's a group of people. They're out bar hopping, if you will, going to some different establishments together. Karen Reed is in that group, her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, and some other members of different law enforcement agencies and others. And they're all kind of together separately, but meeting up in different places. And then this goes into the after hours, into the morning of January 29th, and they are texting back and forth, and some of them decide to meet up at the home in Canton of another Boston police officer.
I don't know, Benjamin
for
John.
sort of an after hours gathering.
Right. So they all decide they're going to all go back to this house.
Yeah, some of them.
Some of the group peel off and continue at the house.
Right. And so this is a house in Canton on Fairview, and it's the home of another Boston police officer. And this is where the stories start to take different paths, depending on which side. So according to investigators and prosecutors, Karen Reed is driving her SUV. John O'Keefe is in the car with her. They're fighting. And
their boyfriend and girlfriend.
Their boyfriend and girlfriend. And she drops him off at the house. She decides she doesn't want to stay. And according to investigators in the case and prosecutors, she backed into him and then took off and left him in a snowbank in the driveway during a snowstorm where he would later, hours later, be found dead.
Right. This is a cold, snowy January night. And so there are already banks of snow around, and now it's snowing again. And when she's accused of backing over him and he would have fallen by the side of the road, he is in snow. And during the course of the night, of course, temperatures drop in New England. So then what is the other version of events?
Yeah, so the other version, and it's interesting because we normally don't hear these details from the defense side in a criminal case until much later, until it goes to trial, really.
Because her defense claims she is the victim of a vast cover-up.
Right. And this has created so much intrigue. And normally defense attorneys play their cards close to the vest. They don't want.
Vast is a good word, right? Vast is a good word because I wouldn't say elaborate. It's definitely not elaborate. It's fucking painfully obvious that it's a cover-up. I mean, I don't know what else you need. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like it's a cover-up, you know? But is it vast? Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people involved. Yeah, it's crazy.
don't want to give out a lot of details. They don't want to give the other side maybe a head start as far as, what they're going to counter with, what all their evidence is. In this case, the defense attorneys took a different tactic and just put it all out there. And it has really captured the public's interest. What the defense is alleging is that once she dropped him off, he went into that home, again, a Boston police officer's home, got into some kind of fight at some point in the home. And then the defense has even brought up some evidence that a dog attack might have been involved, showing some wounds that came up in the autopsy, pictures of the victim's arm that show what they say are dog attack, dog bites, dog scratches. And that the defense is alleging that body was then brought outside and planted allegedly in that snowbank. And, to your point about the weather playing a big factor here, it kind of obscures everything. I mean, people are driving around. She then had left and driven home in a snowstorm.
Right. So there's one theory that a snowplow came along, probably pushing snow and the body further into a snowbank, which precipitated his death.
Right. According to the defense, or according to a witness, at some point she had allegedly asked, could he have been hit by a snowplow? Because in the early hours, she had called that home. She had called people they were with that night and said, he hasn't come home. I'm worried. I don't know what's
She
going
started
on.
asking. And a big part of the document production in this case are the text messages that were flying back and forth between Karen Reed, people who were in the home, others. One of the questions typed was, how long would it take to die in the cold? Right. Which could be interpreted many different ways when you're either searching for someone or someone might be in the cold and you're curious how long it's going to take them to die.
No, bro. No, that's kind of the whole point, lady. Like, it can only be interpreted one way. Like, she made the shit at 2:27 a.m. Nobody supposedly knew that John was dead. And here she is Googling how long to die in the cold. And lo and behold, this man is found dead in the cold. So, no, it's not. There's only one way to interpret that. There's no many ways to interpret it.
To die. So there's a lot of interpretation there, but these text messages have become a big part of the case.
Right. The phone evidence is going to be key going forward. The defense has claimed that the prosecution hasn't turned over all of that evidence. And then there have been arguments about it about that, what was typed in there, how long to die in cold. So people are assuming that was someone, and that was a Google search. So people are assuming that was someone, and this was on the phone of one of the people who was at that gathering.
They know out there. Somehow that person would have known he was outside because Karen has now let them know she doesn't know where he is.
Well, so
there
that's
you
integral
go.
to that particular Google search. The timing is at issue. So the defense is saying that search happened before the body was reported to have been missing. So that would imply that people at that gathering were searching how long would it take for someone to die in the cold. But the prosecution has said, no, our phone IT experts have different timing. And their timing is that search came after the body was reported to have been missing, and that Karen Reed allegedly was prompting that other witness to do this search, saying, search this, see, because she's then maybe trying to figure out what exactly happened. Was it possibly him getting hit, or was it that he was out in the cold? What caused his death?
Yeah, she claims she just drove away and went home, and the people in the house maintain they just this girlfriend in this way, and some of the timelines match up. And so this has been the evidence that he has kind of put out there online as a citizen journalist blogger, and he's put out a lot of information that a lot of
let's see what she's
this whole
talking
idea
about,
that what if someone were falsely accused? What if Karen Reed was framed? And so he's pulled out things that he has found on the internet and social media, again, done a lot of digging into this case, and people are fascinated by this. And you can see why. I mean, this whole idea that what if someone were falsely accused? What if that was you? You would want a robust defense.
And what he's put forward is kind of this cabal of police officers working together who knew actually how John O'Keefe died, deciding to frame this girlfriend in this way, and some of the timelines match up. And so this has been the evidence.
They're talking about Turtle Boy now.
That he has kind of put out there online as a citizen journalist blogger, and he's put out a lot of information that a lot of the legacy media in the Boston area has not published.
Yeah, and it's not just him. This has become a group effort, I think, on that Turtle Boy website that people are all joining in. They're so fascinated by this that they're looking themselves and checking out someone's Facebook page or
people
Instagram.
can do a lot of sleuthing online.
Yeah, and sometimes.
Yeah, ladies, you know what it did? It made a whole shit ton of people stand outside the courthouse holding signs and wearing t-shirts that say "Free Karen Reed." Why? Because Turtle Boy made people look into it and go, this lady's fucking innocent. She's clearly innocent. Like, it's not just like that they can't prove it. Like, I was entertaining that idea for a while, but she didn't do it. There's so much. I mean, the more shit that comes out from this federal investigation, the more I'm just like my tweet said, every single hearing that happens, I peak as far as my belief that John O'Keefe is going to get justice. Now, I went into this actually saying the same shit that Dolly was saying. Dolly was just mimicking the last shit that he heard me say on this case months ago. But I was like, well, you know, I don't know if she's guilty or innocent. But I'm telling you, I mean, I absolutely believe that she's innocent. But I went into this going, I don't know if she's guilty or innocent, but I do know that they can't prove it. That there's no way, like they botched this investigation so much that this shouldn't even go to trial. And I'm fascinated at the fact that this is even going to trial. But like the thing is every single time, like I used to think that even if they acquit Karen Reed, right? Drop the charges, whatever. John O'Keefe, I'm afraid he'll never get justice. I feared this. I expressed this fear many times on many live streams. But the thing is the reason for that tweet is because I genuinely feel every single time I see Jackson or Yannetti drop these bombshells at these hearings, I'm like, this is getting closer and closer to the truth. This is a step forward, not just for exonerating Karen Reed, but this is a step forward to getting John O'Keefe justice. And Dolly not even acknowledging anything that's been said in the last few hearings tells me that he's not out there because he's been following the case. He's not out there because he's following the case. He's out there because he knows there's people out there. That's it. But those people out there looked into this case and felt with their guts that Karen Reed was innocent. Even though, even with the same information that I had, and me going, you know, I'm not convinced that she's innocent, not completely, but I mean, she's definitely being railroaded. I know that. But now I'm like, she's being railroaded and she's absolutely innocent. Because I did entertain the possibility that Proctor's just a lazy investigator. He knew her to be guilty and then cut corners. I entertained that possibility, but no, this is a frame up. This is absolutely a frame up. I have no doubt in my mind. I absolutely feel this in my bones that this is a frame up. And yeah, this is just crazy to me that I mean, all you have to do is just read these documents and then listen to what Jackson and Yannetti are saying.
Sometimes it amounts to, hey, I was at the hair salon and I heard this about this person and they're putting it out there. And I know we get a lot of people asking, why didn't you report this thing that I read online? And all we can say is that we just have really strict and careful policies around what we can put out there. Doesn't mean we're not paying attention to it or not looking into it. I mean, I've spent months investigating certain things that we never put out there for the public because we decide it doesn't have the context or it's not fair. We don't fully have the other side. So we really just want to, you know, we're a CBS station, long tradition of just making sure we're being very responsible about what we put out there, providing context and thinking about the source that it comes from. Is it confirmed? Is it corroborated?
Right. That's all part of the editorial process, which someone who is an online citizen journalist doesn't have those constraints. They can kind of say, hey, what about this theory? And what if this is true? And we should mention briefly here, he has stepped into some trouble because he's approached various witnesses in the case in person, correct?
Right. The allegations are that he has shown up at sporting events, youth sporting events, and put out personal cell phone numbers, and that, caused many of his followers to then call people, witnesses, people involved in the case in different capacities. And so, yeah, he spent some jail time because of these accusations that he has just taken that a step too far. And we all try to get the other side and do what we can to approach people to get the other side. But the accusations are that he just took that too far.
Why he got jail, but okay.
So, and let's talk about, that's kind of the big explosion of interest in this case in our area. Now let's talk about why the FBI got involved.
Yeah, well, so the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office, at the direction of the U.S. Attorney's Office, they'll get involved anytime they think, or they're supposed to get involved anytime they think there could be a federal crime at play. And so in this case, there were accusations that have been out there that there was conflict of interest. And it was more specifically that the lead investigator in this case, the state police trooper investigating this case, is allegedly close family friends with a lot of the witnesses in the case. In fact, the host of that gathering where the body was found outside of that home, so the homeowner. And so the prosecution has said those ties have been greatly exaggerated. This is a fishing expedition, but the defense has said this is a clear conflict of interest. This trooper should have recognized from the very beginning that he has personal ties, should have removed himself. Right. So this has been the issue.
Okay, let's just go over now. I have not watched this yet. This is like 45 minutes long, 42 minutes long. So our old buddy, guys, this is a special treat. Our old buddy, Vinnie Politan, and closing argument.
I'm Vinnie Politan. Thank you for joining us tonight. And this is a trial unlike any trial I've covered in my history here at Court TV. And I begin every segment when I cover it with my disclaimer, because I know I'm going to get the DMs. I know both sides are going to attack me for something I said or didn't say, a question I asked, a question I didn't answer, a piece of video we put on the screen. I have no agenda here but the truth.
I believe you.
No agenda but the truth.
I believe you,
And we
Vinny.
need a trial in this case to figure out the truth. And we're talking about the death of a Boston police officer. John O'Keefe is his name.
I mean, we really don't need a trial, dude. I mean, Vinny, I got to disagree with you there. We don't need a trial to get to the truth for this one.
And that's what this trial is about. It's about what happened to John O'Keefe. Something terrible happened to him. Someone is responsible. Prosecutors believe it's Karen Reed, his girlfriend. They believe that she backed her car into him on purpose, ran him over, drove away, left him to die in the cold. But she says, no, that didn't happen. I was framed. I dropped him off at a party. Some other police officers were there. Something happened. He got beaten up. They dragged him out onto the front lawn, and then they framed me for murder. So those are the two sides. They both have some evidence that seems compelling, and they both have some evidence or some things that you question, which is why you need a trial. You put the witnesses on the stand, you bring in the photos, you bring in the videos, you have cross-examination, and you try to figure out the truth. So what do we have for you tonight? Tonight, they were back in court today, and we saw for the first time, and this is from her second arrest. So she was arrested initially for manslaughter, right? For recklessly running him over and leaving him in the snow to die. Well, then she got indicted for murder, so she was rearrested. Then we have the body cam video from that re-arrest. Let's take a look and a listen.
So initially, your arrest was on probable cause of the district court, okay? So the charges you were arrested on initially were out of district court, still in district. That's where the arena was. It was district level charges. Today, grand jury indicted you on these charges, which is second-degree murder, victim homicide, and leaving the scene of the death. Okay, so those are the charges the grand jury indicted you on. So now you're being charged and will be arraigned in Superior Court, Norfolk County Superior Court in death. Okay.
So bail doesn't apply anymore?
Typically, I'm not.
Thank you, Buzzy, for truth.
But typically, once murder comes into play, people don't get bailed out.
So it's not manslaughter anymore, is that the difference?
That's correct. It's a higher degree of taking away. Okay, so that's the charges you're being charged with now. And you were indicted by grand jury.
Okay, you're aware he was beaten up by Brian from Colin Albert. I mean, we're all in on the same joke, right? My tail light is cracked and John is pulverized.
Okay, you need to abide by the rights that were afforded to you. Okay, so you can talk if you want. If you wanted to tell us what happened, that's fine. We'll listen, but you were ready to do your rights, okay? And I'm sure he's gonna do it again. All right, if you want to talk to us, you want to give us a story, definitely. But we'll take it.
No, I mean, I know there ain't no stories, so I'll be to.
Interesting. She doesn't say a lot. She's behind the computer on the other side of the table. So this is the officer who's processing her. So it's his body cam, but she's right there on the other side of it.
He's like, interesting.
Table. We don't see her in this video, but you're hearing her and what she's saying. So I want to break down what she said a little piece by piece for you here. And begin with the first one where she says, you're aware he was beaten up by Brian and Colin Albert. So where's the potential evidence of this? Like, where does this come from, right? Because she's not an eyewitness to it. It comes from, first, some blood that is in the snow. And I think the argument from the defense is going to be that the blood is on top of the snow. How does the blood get on top of the snow? I think this is what they'll argue. How does the blood get on top of the snow if he was run over by the car before the snowstorm started? I think that's part of what they're going to say. And what they've also been talking about are the cuts on John O'Keefe, Officer O'Keefe's arms that they say are not consistent with being hit by a car. They say they're consistent with perhaps being attacked by the dog that the owners of the home have subsequently given away.
Yeah, and nobody knows except for Jennifer Poffenhofer where it is.
Attacked by a dog. These are things we've heard inside the courtroom, but here she is. Before we're really hearing it inside the courtroom, we're hearing it from Karen Reed herself now making these allegations. Now, prosecutors want this in front of the jury because they say this is inconsistent with other things that she has said, that her story changed over time. Now, something else that she said, we're all in on the same joke, right? And I mean, it was a strange way to say it, but it's said with a little bit of an attitude, I think. But is that how someone who is factually innocent would react in this situation? I don't know. I'm not an expert.
Totally.
But she's clearly saying, yeah.
Dude, do you think that if I'm fucking falsely accused of murder that my sarcasm's going to get shut off somehow? Are you kidding? That my sarcasm switch is just going to go off once if I'm falsely accused of murder? No fucking way. That shit's going into overdrive. That shit's gonna have a backup generator to it. Like I'm dropping the snark on every motherfucker that comes at me. Are you fucking serious? You know what I mean? Like, it's not a sign of guilt here to me at all that Karen Reed would be snarky with this guy. Like, she's like, I'm on bail and you got me sitting here again. The fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? Like, she's cool as a cucumber being in a situation like that. And that's exactly how one would be if, you know, they're already aware that they're being fucking railroaded.
Come on, we're all in on this. Alan Jackson brought this up in court, and they've made arguments because of one of the investigators' relationships with the Alberts, who she's pointing the finger at in this body cam video. Alan Jackson pointed out that the state trooper, who's the lead investigator in all this, had some level of a relationship with the prosecutor, but didn't reveal it. Take a listen.
So obviously, we're asking questions about your relationship with Julie Albert, with Chris Albert, and with Colin Albert. Do you understand that? Answer, yes, sir. Question, and you're saying that you're minimizing, quote, minimizing your relationship to the grand jury, correct? Answer, yes. He finally, under the scrutiny of a federal grand jury, admitted that he had been lying about his relationship to the Alberts, which means he lied to the grand jury, which means the evidence was distorted in front of the grand jury.
And again, reminder that the investigators were or are being investigated by the feds. And we're in front of a federal grand jury, and that's what Alan Jackson is talking about there. Statements from the lead investigator. I mean, does it mean something that he is somehow connected to folks here? Well, the defense thinks it means a lot. Yeah. And the other thing is she said, my taillight was cracked, excuse me, and John was pulverized. The cracked taillight is going to be a big part of this trial, a huge part. Prosecutors say, well, there's like remnants of it on the victim. Like, how do remnants of the cracked taillight get on the victim if she doesn't hit him with a scar?
Because Proctor is the fucking taillight fairy, bro. You got Berkowitz, who's the taillight whisperer, and then you got Proctor, who's the taillight fairy. Proctor is the cop in the Chappelle Show bit, or the stand-up bit. Just sprinkle some taillight on him instead of cracking his taillight. Sprinkle some taillight on him. Let's get out of here. It's totally what Proctor did.
But the defense has some other problems, has some other ways to explain this, and some things they're pointing out. For instance, the video that we've looked at tons of times. This is the morning after, as now she's going to try to find John O'Keefe. She backs her car up into John O'Keefe's car. Did she crack that back right tail light at that point? Is that when it was cracked, or did she crack it when she ran him over? And the defense is alleging that piece of the tail light are being planted, that evidence is literally being planted. One thing they're looking at is the local police chief. It's about a week after John O'Keefe's death. The police chief said, I was working the 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. shift as the detective sergeant. I was advised Chief Berkowitz was at 34 Fairview Road and had possibly discovered more evidence. He directed our attention to the area where O'Keefe had been discovered. I was able to
It's a fucking miracle, bro.
Observe a red broken piece of hard plastic, which appeared to have been broken off a motor vehicle light fixture. The temperature overnight had reached 45 degrees with heavy rains, which melted much of the snow from the storm on Saturday. this revealed much more of the area. So prosecutors are saying the rain comes down, it gets warm, and now the snow is gone, and now we found more of the tail light. The defense is saying, why is the chief just happened to be driving by and happened to find that piece of evidence? Because again, they're alleging this huge police cover-up. The final part of one of the statements that she made in this body cam from her arrest was, I know you already know the story. And again, she's saying this is what she believes is a police cover-up and frame job of her. Let's take a listen now.
It is.
To some of the arguments today
it
about
is.
getting this video in front of the jury. First, we'll hear from the prosecutor.
Miranda and advised her to stop making statements, and repeatedly states that to her during the course of her making statements. But the sum and substance of it is she says something to the effect of, are you in on the joke? And then makes some sort of reference to having witnessed Brian Albert and Colin Albert essentially smash John O'Keefe's head into the taillight, indicating that that's how her taillight was broken. Doesn't make any sort of further statements about why she would then leave the scene after that occurred or anything like that. But these are, again, different accounts that have been made.
Yeah, she never said she witnessed anything, you dickhead.
Direct variance to prior statements that she made.
So here you see where the prosecution is going. Like, she's telling different stories at different times. We've seen this in other cases. Why do people tell different stories at different times? The truth is the truth. Why would the story ever change? And it's a very effective way to go after a defendant. Very effective way. Now let's take a listen to the defense response.
Good point.
Object. After John O'Keefe was found dead on the lawn of Brian Albert's home, I immediately got a letter out to the state police saying, I represent her, I will surrender her, no need to arrest her, just call me and I'll bring her in. They ignored that. And
I went over it yesterday.
To get her into custody,
the day before.
I would assert ultimately to make the arguments that Mr. Lally is making today. Then, astonishingly to me, after the grand jury issued indictments, well, based on basically no new evidence, they upcharged her and once again did not contact me, despite the fact that she was completely in compliance with the terms of her release and had made every court appearance. They arrested her again.
All right, let me bring in my special guest and actually bring her back in. Joining us in Orlando, Florida, human behavior expert, jury consultant, Susan Constantine. Susan, thanks so much. First, I want to begin with the statements that she's making. And I understand she had been arrested previously, lesser charge, gets rearrested, and then starts making these statements like, you're aware, when she's told she's been charged with the murder, you're aware he's beaten up by Brian and Colin Albert. What do you think of the tone and the nature of these statements she was making at this moment?
Challenging, and she's aloof. But that doesn't mean that she's not truthful. So during break, what I did, Vinny, is I took all those statements and I ran it through Deceptio AI, which is a phenomenal program in detecting deception to create a nice baseline. And guess what? Drum roll, 100% truthful.
Wow.
100%. Not one word was out of character. So the language that she was using, when you analyze it with scrutiny, with each word and the order in which she speaks it, take away the voice, just the words, came up 100% truthful. Now, if she believes what occurred, her tonality and her voice and her body language will all mirror that. And what we're seeing is she's very combative, she's very aloof, she can sometimes come across smug, and she's standing her ground. So would an innocent person do that? The question is, yes. She's challenging, which is she's not taking the other approach as the victim. She's coming at him like a bull.
See, I love that this lady is absolutely validating my shit. Absolutely. Of course, you fucking accuse me of some shit I didn't do. And there's clearly an elaborate fucking thing. What am I going to do? I'm going to lose my shit? No, I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of looking crazy. I'm going to be snarky and sarcastic and combative as fuck within the boundaries of not fucking sounding crazy. That's what you're going to get out of me because I'm not going to show you respect. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm not showing you respect.
So just at the first view of this, without going through all of the other statements and then reading them and then analyzing them and then comparing them, just those questions are those that she said, those statements were 100% truthful.
Now, Susan, you reminded me of something when I was a prosecutor. There was one person who I was convinced was innocent. There was a grainy, this is way back when, so the video was grainy, obviously, and it was of someone stealing something. And the person who was accused came into the prosecutor's office to view the video with his attorney. And they showed him, they said, because the prosecutor, I wasn't handling this case, someone else was, but I was right there watching it. And the defendant looked at the video and said, that's not me. That's not me. And I could tell that he was convinced it was not him, like he knows what he looks, and was screaming at the top of his lungs, yelling at the prosecutor, and stormed out of the office, and his lawyer was left behind. I could not believe what I had just seen, but it stuck in my mind all these years, the defiance and like going after the prosecutor because you have wrongfully accused me of something. That's not me in the video. And what I just heard you describe is to a lesser degree what you're noticing, because she's not blowing up at that moment, but is what you're noticing from this body cam video.
Yeah, and we've both been in the courtroom, worked on many, many cases, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I've had another case where there was a police officer who was actually on the jury, and in fact, one of the attorneys said, "I don't want him on the jury." I said, "No, I want him on the jury. He's saying everything right. He's totally in sync with what I'm looking for." And at the end of the trial, he looked over when he was found not guilty. He smiled at the defendant. So the point is that it's really easy to make these assumptions because somebody's angry or they may look like the bad guy or whatever, and they could be completely innocent. If there's a great Netflix movie that just came out, which was The American Nightmare, if you would have watched the very beginning of that.
Mike Bradford. It's my brother, because I'm Will Bradford. Yes. Yes, Mike Bradford. Yes.
You would have thought for sure he was guilty.
Don't give away the ending. Don't give away the ending. I'm going to watch it now this weekend.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Susan, we're out of time for tonight. Thank you so much for staying into the second hour with us. Really appreciate your insight. Great to see you. Have a wonderful weekend. Susan Constantine, folks. All right, when we come back, we'll bring in our think tank, Ben Chu, Bernardo Villona, Philip Dubé. Can Karen Read sell it at trial? They'll let us know when we return.
This is an innocent woman. She didn't do it.
It's a controversial case that's divided a community.
Karen Read is accused of murdering her police officer boyfriend.
Prosecutors say she ran him over on purpose and left him to die in the cold.
But Read claims that she's being framed.
It smells suspicious. After years of legal fireworks, will the truth finally be revealed?
The end game is to figure out who killed John O'Keefe and hold these people responsible.
The Killer or Cover-Up Murder Trial. Live coverage begins next week, only on Court TV.
And you were dating, like, pretty early.
Okay, you're aware of these beating up by Brian and Colin Albert. We're all in on the same joke, right? My tail leg is cracked and John is pulverized.
Karen Read, the day she was arrested for murder, she was already out on bond for manslaughter. Then they put it in front of the grand jury, up the charges. She gets rearrested, and she's like, had enough. And there you hear her speaking with one of the arresting officers. A big day inside the courtroom as they get ready for next week when this trial begins with jury selection. Here's a look at all the big moments.
Now that it's time to actually try the case in the courtroom, I don't have a motion from the defense to admit third-party culprit. And as you're well aware, I have to make findings before any mention of any third-party culprit evidence or even an opening goes before the jurors. Given that I have no information at all, I don't know who the third-party culprit is, even after reading 4,500 pages of discovery. I don't know what motive a third-party culprit might have. I don't know how it's relevant. I don't know if it's remote or if it's current. I don't know if it's speculative or if it's relevant. I don't know if it will prejudice or confuse the jury. And if it's hearsay, I have a whole other series of factors I have to consider. So, Ms. Giannetti, are you pursuing a third-party culprit defense?
We are, Your Honor, and I'm prepared to address that.
So who is the third-party culprit?
We are under no obligation to name any specific third-party culprit.
The Commonwealth seeks to admit irrelevant, inadmissible, and prejudicial prior bad character and propensity evidence against Ms. Read by admitting inflammatory evidence in an event that purportedly transpired in Aruba on December 31st, 2021. The Commonwealth has put forth no reliable evidence to suggest that the incident that occurred in Aruba on New Year's Eve has anything whatsoever to do with O'Keefe's death, or that this remote and isolated incident was even a point of contention in their relationship at the time in question.
These are not isolated statements. These are not just one time 4 weeks prior. It's not too remote in time, and it does show sort of the nature of the relationship and as it's evolving over the course of that month, from the date of the incident in Aruba all the way through until the date that Mr. O'Keefe is killed. So for those reasons, Commonwealth would submit that it is relevant as to motive, it is relevant as to absence of accident, and it is relevant as to absence of mistake.
If he was not hit by a car, as both our expert and FBI confirmed, then he was attacked. And if he was not hit by a car, then there is a third-party culprit or culprits. You know, it is not our job to solve this case for the prosecution. It's our contention. They had the opportunity to do that, but they failed. Starting with Brian Higgins. He was present at 34 Fairview Road on January 28th to 29th. He was close friends with the homeowner, Brian Albert. He had a prior romantic interest in Karen Read. In short, he was present that night. He had a motive, and there is plenty of consciousness of guilt cover-up evidence with regard to Mr. Higgins. We have evidence of bad blood between Colin Albert and John O'Keefe.
And what you can see within that cruiser camera video at 8:22 in the morning is the damage to the right rear taillight of the defendant's vehicle.
What a day. Both sides just going at it. And you look at that courtroom is packed every time. The trial hasn't even started. Pre-trial motions, standing room only in Dedham, Massachusetts. Let's bring back in, or let's introduce our think tank tonight, or should I say Pink Tank. Joining us in New York City, former senior homicide prosecutor, founder of Villona Law, Bernardo Villona. Also with us in Los Angeles, California.
Think she's wearing pink in support of Karen Read?
California Deputy Public Defender for LA County, Philip Dubé. And in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the attorney who represented Johnny Depp. Oh, yeah, he won the case in that defamation trial. A fellow at the American College of Trial Lawyers, Ben Chu. Great to see everyone. I want to put up on screen some of these quotes from this arrest video of Karen Reed. First one, you're aware he was beaten up by Brian and Colin Albert. Bernardo Villalona, are they going to be able to sell this? Is she believable when she says it? Do you think that this is someone who may testify as well?
Vinny, if I were the prosecutor in the case, unless I absolutely need to, I would not open up about these statements because I will want to see how the case plays out before I make that decision as to whether to introduce these statements to a jury. That way you can also keep the defense on their toes on whether their client is going to testify or have to testify. But in the very beginning, I wouldn't mention it. But then again, their case is so circumstantial, they may not have a choice but to mention those statements and start arguing that the statements are inconsistent because there's a consciousness of guilt.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Bernardo. I'm always weary as a prosecutor of putting in statements from the defendant because I think she's not telling the truth, but they are self-serving, right? So you can keep them out and force her to get on the witness stand. I mean, that happened in the George Zimmerman trial. He didn't testify, and his whole story was in front of the jury because the prosecutors played a video of him telling his ridiculous story, and it was enough. He didn't have to testify. No cross-examination. Philip Dubé, let me put up another one, where she said, on the day she's arrested, we're all in on the same joke, right? Like, and the day she's arrested for this, she is convinced, or at least trying to convince the arresting officer that she knows this was all a cover-up.
Well, that's not what I'm hearing.
What are you hearing?
When she says, when I hear her say we're all in on the same joke, I think what she's saying is, you know, you've got this wrong. You know, you've got the wrong person here. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, the problem is, Vinny, if they're going to put on a third-party culprit defense, she has already identified through her police statements who she believed the culprits were. And now to leave it sort of vague and amorphous and Delphic and subject to your imagination, it's going to look like you're desperate to try to point the finger at somebody. The third-party culpability jury instruction throughout this country is pretty uniform. In order for you to earn that jury instruction, which, by the way, is sort of a subset of causation, the prosecution has to prove that there's a homicide and that she was the cause of it. When you're putting on third-party evidence, you're trying to show that somebody else was the cause of the death. So her problem right now is that she's just floating the idea that it may be somebody else. But really, when you think about it, it's sort of imaginary. And it's subject to any sort of unreasonable doubt without any specificity. So I think she's...
Okay, dude. So this guy's basically saying that she's just throwing these names out there and the third party culprits were named as if Yannetti didn't like lay out in detail as to why these third party culprits were fucking suspect. You know, so this guy's just completely talking out of his ass right now. Like he knows what he's talking about as far as the law goes, but he's not, he clearly doesn't know what the fuck is going on with the case.
She's in danger of a judge turning her down in getting that jury instruction. There has to be some evidence to corroborate it, rather than just merely having a motive to want to hurt the guy or the opportunity to want to hurt the guy. There has to be something substantial in evidence connecting those two guys or whoever the third party culprit is to the homicide. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're spitballing the imaginary doubt.
I think we got a super dad, super dad, super dad, super dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super chat.
Katie, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the info on Bull, Horn, and Dolly. Good, yeah. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. So hold on. I gotta. What the fuck is this dude saying now?
So I think she's in danger of a judge turning her down in getting that jury instruction. There has to be some evidence to corroborate it, rather than just merely having a motive to want to hurt the guy or the opportunity to want to hurt the guy. There has to be something substantial in evidence connecting those two guys or whoever the third party culprit is to the homicide. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're spitballing the imaginary doubt for purposes of reasonable doubt, and the judge is going to shut it down.
Shut it down to the effect that they can't make the argument, or shut it down that there's not the instruction?
They won't get the instruction. They will not get, we call it SADI or third-party culpability, because the case law is clear. Not only, can you show a motive and an opportunity, but you have to show substantial corroborating evidence to prove it. Otherwise, you really...
Okay, so now what he's saying is interesting, because if he's right, like everything that we just heard, the jury won't even get to hear in trial. Everything that we heard Yannetti say, the jury won't even get to hear in trial. If he's right, and think about it. Judge Bev has not ruled on these things yet. She has not ruled on these motions yet. That has not happened. At least we don't know about it. So
really misleading the jury with what I called earlier the imaginary doubt.
I've seen defense attorneys mislead the jury once or twice here on Court TV. Not the ones on the show, but the ones in the courtroom. Ben Chu, another thing she said, my taillight was cracked and John was pulverized. This taillight is going to be a big part of this case. The question is, when and how was it cracked?
Right.
And was it?
And there's clear sarcasm in there. Let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about Karen Reed saying my taillight was cracked and John was pulverized. Again, that was snark. That was, yeah, my taillight was cracked and John was pulverized. So, John, you're trying to tell me that John was pulverized by my taillight, because that makes a lot of fucking sense, right? That is what she meant by that. That was the vibe. That was exactly what Karen Reed meant. And yes, she was absolutely accusing Colin and Brian of beating him up. But what Lolly said that wasn't true was that she claimed that she witnessed it. But no, she's telling the cop, dude, use your fucking brain. And she's pissed off, and she's probably saying more than she should, being in the position that she's in with a fucking cop with a body cam on without her lawyer. Because obviously they're going to use it and to try to twist it the way Lolly just fucking did. But, I mean, she clearly just was being like, yeah, dude, what the fuck do you think? Use your fucking brain, bro, for a second. My taillight is cracked, and this, I mean, and literally that's the only damage to her car. That's it. Her taillight's cracked, but, you know, John is pulverized. That makes no sense.
Was it cracked even more by investigators so they could plant evidence? I mean, that's, I think, where the defense is going with all this. Is that, could a jury find that to be credible and reasonable?
I think it could. I think she has a Marissa Tomei, My Cousin Vinny kind of sassiness that could appeal to the jury.
That's interesting. Someone else in our meeting mentioned that today. The same name. All right. Our Pink Tank is with us the whole night. Up next. Will the suitcase murder trial ever go to trial? Sarah Boone was back in court with yet another attorney. And yes, we have the latest.
Yeah, one of these days, hopefully in this millennium, I'm going to fucking cover the Sarah Boone trial too. Jesus fuck.
911, what is the location of your emergency?
It's Monday, February 24th. There's a crisis at the home of Sarah Boone, prompting her to call 911.
Is this a police or medical? My boyfriend is dead. Okay, tell the line for the fire department. Do not hang up.
The fire department takes over the call, and for the next few minutes, officials are obtaining critical details about what happened.
Now tell me exactly what happened there. My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in a case and we were playing. And it's like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep, and I woke up, and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened.
Okay, is he hanging from somewhere or what, ma'am?
No, I pulled him out of the suitcase. I tried getting him CPR.
Fire and rescue instruct Boone on how to give chest compressions.
Just keep on pumping. That's all you need to do for me. Keep on pumping his chest for me. I don't need you to stop and talk or anything. I just want you to count out loud for me, okay?
31, 32. Please hurry.
Fucking wild, bro.
He's deaf and he's purple.
EMS arrived within minutes and advised Boone that her boyfriend, Jorge Torres, had been down too long and there was nothing more they could do. Boone explained she and Torres were drinking the night before and thought it would be funny if he got inside of a suitcase for a game of hide and seek. The next day, deputies returned and arrested Boone and charged her with second-degree murder in Torres' death. Boone's story about a childhood game gone awry unraveled when investigators say they found video on her cell phone showing Boone taunting and laughing at Torres while he was struggling to get out of the suitcase.
I can't breathe, babe.
I hope that answers your question.
That's what I feel like when you drink on me. Sarah, I can't breathe, Sarah. Yeah. You should probably shut the
Wow.
When police questioned Boone the next morning, she seemed to have no memory of that happening. Boone told investigators she only realized her boyfriend was still in the suitcase when she woke up. Still, investigators say her actions add up to murder. Sarah Boone has pleaded not guilty and maintains her innocence. It's been 4 years. She's been locked up for 4 years, waiting for her trial. And today, attorney number 7 was inside.
Okay. I mean, are you guys interested in catching up on that real quick? Because that shit is crazy. She's got a 7th lawyer. She is doing everything she can to troll and delay her trial, which is crazy. I mean, it's not unheard of, but she's basically just like, okay, well, she has the right to she has a right to representation. So she manages to find reasons to either have her attorney quit or she fires them. And it's amazing what she's doing. She's managed to delay this trial just by simply it's unbelievable.
I obviously am not going to be ready for trial in May. We had discussed that on the day of the appointment. I've got depositions set on May 7th, and there are likely to be pretrial motions that will need to be filed. The state was asking that the status hearing be in 60 days. At that time, I think we'll be closer to being able to inform the court what we believe will be a trial date that we'd be ready for. I've hired an expert, and a number of things are dependent on completion of her evaluation. And
yeah, like, listen, this lady's guilty as fuck. This lady's guilty as fuck. Okay, like, we saw the video footage of her, and we're seeing how she's avoiding trial, how manipulative she is. This is what's funny about people like this. They don't realize that by showing us how manipulative they are, that they don't, by manipulating things, they're showing us how manipulative they are in a situation like this. So it's like, yeah, okay, you know what I mean? The way you're manipulating avoiding trial is showing me that you're guilty as fuck, A, and B, like, you're just trying to avoid the inevitable, and you're being manipulative. And it sounds to me like you were being manipulative in your defense in the first place. So, yeah, she is so guilty. I mean, she sat there with a cell phone. Now, I don't think she intended to murder him, okay? But she did not give a fuck whether he lived or died. And she heard him say, "I cannot breathe," and didn't give a fuck. So, yeah, I think it's like second-degree murder. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, she's a piece of shit, dude. Bottom line is, this lady is clearly a piece of shit. Like, she filmed the guy laughing about him and then saying, "What about all the times you beat me?" Blah, blah, blah. Like, and maybe the guy was a piece of shit too, but she's clearly a piece of shit, and she's on trial, and that dude's dead. And she killed him. So,
and where we're going to go from there in the case.
Yeah. Her evaluation. Next hearing is coming up June 7th. But again, don't hold your breath for the trial. I mean, attorney number 7, 4 years. I can't tell you how many trial dates there have been. Let's bring back in our think tank, Bernardo Villano, Philip Dubé, Ben Chu. Philip, like, how long can someone be in prison or in jail waiting for a trial? Like, this is 4 years now. And from what you just said, it doesn't sound like they're very close.
It's a great question. There are statutory and constitutional rights to a speedy trial in criminal law. Constitutionally, it's found in the 6th Amendment, and obviously the state of Florida has a provision in its own state constitution.
Let me ask you though, what does the 6th Amendment say about the 7th attorney?
No, what it basically says, no, that's a great question, okay? Obviously, everything is subject to a good cause continuance. If there are conflicts of interest, if counsel is ill, if the client gets ill, if courts are congested, there's always grounds to find good cause, okay? And by the way, the number 8 in numerology stands for infinity. So I hope to goodness that, this goes forward with attorney number 7, because if they make it to 8, it really could languish in perpetuity.
Bro, didn't that guy get kidnapped by Harvey Dent, and he was wearing Rachel Dawes's name tag, and Harvey Dent like almost killed him, and then Batman had to tell him, "If you do this, you're just like him. You're the face of the city. You're what I can't be. You're what the city needs. If you kill him, you're just like him." Like, isn't that him? That's clearly him. He's a psychopath.
Listen, at the end of the day, somebody needs to rein her in. And believe me, if I were her lawyer, I would sit her down and I would say, "Look, I'm ready to go. You can be with me or without me, but I'm announcing ready. if we're all honest, Bernarda backed me. This is actually not a complicated case.
No, it
the
seems
real issue is
Not at all.
right.
Not at all.
right.
Not at all.
Ben, have you ever had a complicated client like this? Don't you have to name names, but just in like representing people, like some are just more difficult than others.
Yeah, I've had some complicated clients, but I think Philip and Bernardo are right. You have to put your foot down.
Yeah.
Bernarda, if you had to sit in the room with Sarah Boone, what would you say? Like if she wanted to hire you and wanted you to be the one?
Well, one, I want my money up front. Secondly, what I would say to her are things that I can't say on live TV, Betty, because I will keep it real. If I'm going to represent you, I'm going to keep it real. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to litigate this case in your best interest. So
That's what she needs. That's it. That's what she needs. Because I keep asking myself, like, how does she keep trolling these lawyers to the point to where they're just like, fuck this, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Dude, this is lawyer number 7, bro. Lawyer number 7. Is that a record? I don't fucking know. I gotta know if that's a record. This is lawyer number 7. And this lady is just like, dude, no, first off, I want my money up front. I don't give a fuck if I'm court appointed. I want my money up front. I want my money up front. And listen, you need to shut the fuck up and let me do my job. Sit over there and shut the fuck up. But why has not 1 out of 7 of these people done this?
And listen to me and follow my lead.
Ben, how important do you think it is for the jury to understand how George got into the suitcase, whether he was got voluntarily into the suitcase, whether he could have zipped himself shut, or whether he could have unzipped himself? Do you think that's a big part of the case, or the fact that she's just taunting him while he obviously needs help is enough?
Vinny, I think it's crucial to the defense that she somehow established that he was in on it and it was just a game gone awry. But the taunting is just awful.
Yeah,
very hard to overcome.
And I still don't understand how that's hide and seek. When it's hide and seek, you don't know where the person is hiding. You don't. I've played it many times. All right. Think Tank staying with us. Up next.
In tonight's Tank Takes, a Florida woman is suspected of DUI as she drives.
The thing is you can absolutely joke about this case. You can absolutely joke about this case. I don't feel any guilt about joking about this case. It's so crazy. Yeah. I mean, listen, people, as far as like the case against Karen Reed, I wonder how long, show me in the chat how long you guys think jury selection is going to take. Because I'd love to know. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Just for Cherry. Just for Cherry.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad.
Cherry in the house. Thank you, Sherry D. Look at this, man. So you guys are saying like 4 days. The most I'm seeing is 4 days. Most of you guys think what, 3 weeks? What? 2 weeks easy? Wow. 3 days? Wow. So is there like a max? Is there like a cap on jury selection? That I don't know. Is there like a cap on jury selection and how long it takes? Because I feel like it could take the max. I feel like if there is, it could take the max. Done by the weekend, Cherry says. Done by the weekend. So 4 days, Cherry thinks. Yeah, Bev is in a rush. Yeah, no jurors on Fridays. But I mean, it's jury selection, so she's just saying that the trial's going to run like that. And the prosecution is saying that to present their case is going to take 4 weeks, and the defense is saying 3 weeks for their case. So you're looking at a 7-week period for trial expected to be. So so 2 weeks for defense. I know they said that initially, but I could have sworn they said 3 weeks this last time, but I could have misheard. Got confused. That happens to me a lot. Yeah. There's just no jury on Fridays. Right. So 6 weeks. We're looking at a trial for 6 weeks. I thought he said 3 weeks. So I guess, okay, if it's 2 weeks, then it's 6 weeks. Oh, fuck. So 7, including jury selection. Okay. I mean, yeah, because I really truly believe that jury selection is going to be very, very interesting. Jury selection is going to be fascinating. Oh my God.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Hayden Kane, thank you. Can you imagine if that suitcase chick gets found not guilty and Karen is found guilty? Unfortunately, I wouldn't be surprised, right? Yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah, so yeah, I feel like jury selection is going to be kind of crazy. Now, going back to Dolly, man, like again, man, just don't even pay that dude no mind, dude. You know what I mean? He clearly just doesn't even know. You know what you should do? Like when he like if he starts making a scene, he starts yelling and screaming, just drown him out by chanting my channel name. Glare. That'll make him so mad. He hates me so much. That'll make him so mad. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But yeah, I wouldn't even. Don't even pay him no mind. Don't even give him any you know, any attention at all whatsoever. And hey, don't tell Dolly about the 200-foot buffer zone. Just don't tell him, you know. Let him get up there, steps on his own. Keep secret. All right, folks. I think I'm going to wrap this one up. So yeah. I love hanging out with you guys. Yeah, man. Bright and early tomorrow. Man, it's gonna be fun. So bright and early tomorrow, guys. I hope to see all of you guys here. Stop in and hang out. I will drop in on Tom once in a while. I know Tom's gonna be there. I'm sure. At least I'm assuming Tom's gonna be there. So make sure to log on to Tom's CPU in the morning and give him a like. Yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to hanging out with you guys and going over this stuff and watching the process of jury selection. I think it's going to be very fascinating. So, yeah, man, I hope you guys are here for that. I love you guys very much. Thanks for subscribing if you're new subscribers. And seriously, man, there's been some new subscribers, man, and it really means a lot to me. So you guys that are new, enjoying, I hope you're really enjoying the channel. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. And so make sure to like the stream and make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And appreciate all the support, guys. You guys are amazing. I love you, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.